So now that I have changed the batteries in the camera and I have my slice of cold pepperoni pizza, we can continue with this. What I did was I blew out the jets, this jet here, and what you can see, I don't know if you can pick that up, but you can see the hole is absolutely clear. And that's just great. That's exactly what we want. So that's going to go in the bowl. I'm going to take a slice of pizza. And so now I'm fishing out the other jet. And I'm going to take my compressed air here. Hold on a second. Right here. And I'm going to blow it out. What I like to also do is I like to stick the needle of this jet here inside my air compressor nozzle if I can. Be sure to hang on to it though so it doesn't go flying. There you go. Pull this one out. We'll see. That looks a hell of a lot better too. So that's going to go in here. Now, where are we going to go from here? What we're going to do is go after the pilot jet, and that is right here. Now these things are kind of funny because they're set at a certain height, and you want to maintain this height. Normally these 4 holes here will be filled from the factory. They'll be plugged up, and what tuners like to do is they'll drill them out and set them at a certain height or whatever. You want to look in your book and see what height it is. For my bike out there, my GV1200, it's 2.5 rotations out. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go half a rotation, full rotation, half a rotation, 2 full rotations. It's just about 2 full rotations. You don't want to jam it in there, you just sort of lightly seat it. So I'm just going to keep it where it's at, which is like just about 2.5 rotations out. So what I'm going to do now is take it out all together. Take it out all together. Pull it out here. You can see this tiny little needle. And you know, you just sort of want to make sure everything is going good. Everything looks good. I'd say that this looks pretty good, so I'm going to put it back. Well, first off, I'm going to empty all that stuff out. Right there. What came out? A spring came out, and a washer. The washer goes back on here. And then the spring. And looking in there, looking in the hole where it came from, I'm starting to think that I ought to clean that out, because I want to see like a little pinpoint of light in there, and I'm not seeing anything, and so that might be a little bit clogged up a little bit, and so I'm gonna spray that out. I'm gonna put the camera away to spray some carb cleaner in there, and also put my pizza away. So hold on one second. Alright, and so that's a lot better. I can see a little pinpoint of light going through there. And so what I'm going to do is put this back in. Screw it all the way down. All the way in. So where it's just lightly seated, and then I'm going to back off almost to full rotation. So there's 1.5, and then 1, and then 1.5, and 2. And that's that. Alright, and so now it's looking a lot better. It's unfortunate that I didn't get this guy out, but we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to start putting everything back together. This can be a daunting part of the operation for a lot of people, but these I like to think these motorcycles were like built for guys like us, you know, guys who have a lot of experiential knowledge, you know, and not necessarily who are engineers, but they were built by some of the most intelligent Japanese engineers in the world. And so you know, they took a lot of efforts to make sure that that these carburetors can be disassembled by people like us. For example, you just can't stick this one, in the wrong hole. It won't screw down. You have to stick it in here. You know? You're not going to put the wrong jet in the wrong hole. Everything in here, if you take a minute to think, everything in here fits exactly in only one place. So, you stick that jet in there, tighten it down just a smidge. Be careful not to damage it too much. Just give it a good tight. We got our slow jet. If I can pick it up with my greasy hands. The slow jet goes back in here. I'll take my screwdriver in here and just get it all the way down in there. I got this guy going back. He's going to get seated right in here. Carb floats. Whoops, what I'm probably going to want to do is attach these to here. Oh right, I forgot to set the carb floats. I'll show you guys how to do that. Basically, this metal tong right here, get out of the way. This metal tong right here is adjustable, and you can either push it up or pull it down. And what that does is, these floats basically work the same way that like a float in your toilet would work, where once the carbs fill up, they close off the valve. And so what you can do is adjust the height for when the valve is closed up, and therefore this carb stops getting gas. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is assemble the needle in here. We're going to stick it right down in there. I'm going to take the little pin, which is sort of like the axis that this thing rotates on, stick it in the hole. There we go. Get yourself on in there. Okay. And what we're going to do, it's a little bit difficult to show on this one, but you're going to take it and hold it at an angle. If I was going to do this for real, I would probably have this bowl off, and maybe even these carbs completely disassembled. But I'll take it and hold it at an angle, and then you peer down. You peer down right in there. Yeah, I'm not doing a very good job demonstrating this. Basically, what you're going to do is hold it at an angle so that the needle is just closed, so that this adjustable tong here is just touching on that spring-loaded needle, and that is the height that these things are set at. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your little micrometer here, and you just sort of measure that, where that goes from the lip of the bowl here to the very top of the float. And that distance, you'll find in your repair manual, that distance should be between such a number and another number, thousandths of an inch, or you know, fractions of a millimeter or whatever. And that's where you want to set it to. And if it's off, if this tong got damaged or bent somehow, or if you just want to tune your bike up so it's getting a little bit more, a little bit less gas, you bend it one way or the other. If I didn't explain that well and you guys have any questions about this particular part in the process, send me a message and I'll do my best to maybe even have a little supplementary video just on how to set the float heights, because it is kind of precise and you do need some precise measurement to get it right, and it is really important to get it right. So these ones I'm not going to set just yet. Basically this is going to be like a preliminary carb cleaning, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. I don't want to really tune this thing up until we have the head gasket, and I'm probably going to have to adjust the valves and stuff like that, and so I would need to get into the carbs anyway at that point. And so right now I'm just cleaning everything out, trying to get in it to run to help diagnose the rest of the problems on this bike. So it's a good idea, especially if you're doing this for the first time, to just do one carb at a time. And that way you have 3 other examples of how this thing goes together in case you get lost. But you really shouldn't. It's super easy. People who charge, you know, $200, $300, $400 to clean a set of carbs are like racking it in, because you can do this with, you know, with 2 eyes closed. This is like not a very difficult process. So I encourage all you guys to give it a shot. If you have any questions, or if you're stuck on a certain step or whatever, just let me know, and you know, take some photos of it and send it to me, and I will definitely help you out if I can. So good luck and safe riding.